plaintiff, Shayla Belk, says after she started dating the defendant, he moved in with her, and things went downhill. Shayla claims one night during an argument, the defendant sat on her and cut her with a knife, and she ended up in the hospital. Shayla is suing for the assault, the medical bill, and a loan. Defendant Dwayne McNeil says everything Shayla told him from the start was a lie, and she turned out to be nothing but a kleptomaniac who smoked pot every day. Dwayne's countersuing for his personal property, and he claims he never cut Shayla. And on the night of the incident, they made love.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Mr. McNeil and I met in 2015 toward the end of August, first part of September. We became very close very quickly. My father died suddenly in November. After he passed, Mr. McNeil lost his home. I allowed him to move into what was my father's home at the time, which passed over to me. I allowed him and his dog to move in. He had a pit bull. I have a Shih Tzu. And so we lived in the home together. He was not working at the time. I paid all my bills. I paid his bills. I got his dog groomed when I got my dog groomed.
How long did you have to do that?
Months, at least 3.
Okay, and how long did he ultimately live with you?
I would say about 6 months.
Why did he leave?
That was because of the assault. That was because of the
incident.
Argument.
So how was it prior to that? Was that all right, or was it tumultuous? What happened?
It was kind of tumultuous. We argued a lot, mainly because of things I found out about, things he found out about. What he found out about was that, I'll just admit, I had talked to other guys, basically because I had lost respect for him as a man, because he wasn't working, he wasn't helping me, he wasn't doing anything.
You knew that when he moved in. I think people use that as an excuse, quite frankly. You was looking to like somebody, then say that. Don't put it on him.
I truly wasn't looking to like someone, sir.
Just fell in your lap.
No, that wasn't it either. It was also, I found out, and he even admitted this because he was bored, that he did the same thing.
Right, so
and I found out
looking to like somebody else.
I guess so.
Yeah. You all moved in after knowing each other how long?
About 2.5, 3 months.
All right, 3 months, moved in, and then started knowing each other and didn't like what you were knowing. What you began to know. All right, you give me some background, sir.
When I met Shay, everything she basically told me was a bald-faced lie. She had told me that she was this religious girl. And I found that to be truthful, but at the same time a lie. She'll go to church on Sundays, stay high, Monday through Saturday.
Off what?
Weed, what she called not a drug. She constantly talked to her exes. This was before we started talking. This was during we were talking. This was after we stopped talking. And I found that out because we went through the back and forth, breaking up, and she'll lie about that even though we weren't together. Found out that she is a klepto. Anytime that we go someplace, she would steal something, whether it be Walmart, whether it be... I am not lying.
I don't believe you. Like what?
For example, we went to the museum. She always complained that I never take her no place. I took her to the museum. She's stealing stuff out of the gift shop.
That wasn't true.
That is not true.
That is very much true. It was a necklace that she had taken. No, she did.
You saw her.
I didn't see her, but I seen the product in her hand. She paid for it.
You all standing at the register when you left, and that wasn't at the register.
It wasn't.
But it was at home when you got home.
It was in her purse when she got home. Her response was, "I didn't realize I took it."
That's not true.
What else? Give me another example.
Okay, another example. She had purchased a cabinet, and the cabinet had some missing pieces out of it. So she said, "Hey, I need you to look out for me." I was like, "For what?" She's like, "I'm gonna get these other pieces out and just get those." And I was like, "No." So I walked away from her. Now here's the funny thing.
If you're going to jail, you're going by yourself.
Exactly. I said, "I'm not gonna be your lookout. I'm not gonna be your lookout." These are some of the smaller things. And Your Honor.
I don't believe it. That's not true, is it?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank
I don't
you.
believe
Your
you
Honor.
making that up, man.
Thank you.
Their word. I would love to say I'm making this up, but there's no way I can make this up. Anything from stealing lighters. I'm like, why are you trying to steal a lighter for? She has a collection of lighters and she don't pay for them. Like, you got the money. Why don't you pay for these things? You know, I'm looking at you. You have a home. You have 2 vehicles. And you're doing all this benign things that make you look bad, and you wondering why you can't get a job. You got 2 degrees, and you got on your record that you're stealing stuff.
I have
On your
a job,
record?
sir.
On her record.
She's been convicted?
She was convicted in Louisiana for a checking scam.
All right. That does hurt a little on your record until you get it expunged.
It was expunged, Your Honor.
Good.
Thank
All right.
you.
And
May I speak to that, Your Honor, if you don't mind?
Sure.
Of course, I will never disrespect you.
no problem.
When we got together, like I said, my dad had just passed. I am the only child. I had a lot just put upon me at one time. He and his dog was something that I chose to put upon myself, which was stupid on my part. I admit that to this day. He had been telling me, oh, you need to do this and something's wrong with you. I will not speak to his mental condition, but since he wanted to speak to mine, he told me I need to go and get something that would help me. I got on antidepressants. I hated how they made me feel. Never been on them before at all. I would still go to work. I still did everything that I had to do, but I hated it. So I balanced it out with a little greenery from time to time. Not embarrassed to say that.
Man, when you took all this time to tell me you smoked weed. Let's talk about this.
All right. So, moving on, one particular night, we were arguing over something. I honestly cannot remember what it was. He walked away, but he came back with a knife in his hand, and he looked me in my eye. I have never seen...
That is a lie.
Let her finish.
I have never seen anybody look me in my eye like that. It was a look of fear and evil I have never seen before. He sat on me, put a knife to my face, said, I will end this all right now, and I will go to jail for the rest of my life. I cannot remember what it was about. It was that petty. Clearly, it was that petty. I honestly do not remember at this moment. But he put a knife to my face, cut me, and I just kind of moved my head over so he wouldn't slash me all the way down my face. I do have a picture of that.
Right, so what happened? You called the police or what?
I went to the hospital.
Okay.
I took myself to the hospital. They were able to glue up the sides so it wouldn't be a big gash in my face. Mm-hmm. He went with me.
Yeah, it is glue. They glued it up.
They glued it up. Mm-hmm. And he
went with you?
He went with me to the hospital. And
how did that happen?
Oh, I didn't get in the car with him. I drove my own self.
Okay, he followed you.
Right.
To check on you.
I guess so. He sat there with me. The people were asking. At that moment, I was afraid of him. So anything that he wanted
so you didn't tell the police, ma'am?
No.
All right.
No, I
didn't.
didn't.
And did you tell the doctors?
No.
Or the medical attendants?
They kept on asking
I'm sure
me.
they asked you what happened. What did you tell them? You said, I don't know.
I just told him I got a cut.
And so your medical bill is for what, ma'am? How much?
The medical bill was for $10.70.
I say this is another one of her lies. On this particular night, yes, it is true. We did fuss. And as she said, I did leave. We were fussing. I do apologize.
S.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead. I started to say, sir, this is a family program.
Yes, sir.
We have children watching. Go ahead.
We did fuss. And I left. And I was making my way back home. I get a phone call, and she tells me, I'm going to the hospital. I said, for what? She said, because I just need you to meet me there. And I was like, what hospital are you going to? You said, you know which one. The hospital she was referring to is the one that's literally down the street from her home. So I do a U-turn. I come back, and I meet her there. And I'm asking her, what's going on? She has a paper towel on her face, and she's got blood on the towel.
How long after you left did she call you and say meet her at the hospital? How long?
Probably about 15 minutes.
All right.
Sir, this is totally...
That's enough, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
15 minutes. All right. So 15 minutes later, she had what appears to be a knife scratch on her face.
And the thing is,
she wouldn't tell you what it came from?
She didn't tell me. I
No
did
one
ask
told
her.
you?
The nurse asked her. I was there with her, and then I got to the point.
What happened that next day? Did you all resume your relationship?
Yes.
Did you?
Yes, we did.
How long?
Months.
Like that next day.
For months. So out of all those months, did you ask her?
I asked her one last time. She said, it's no big deal. I never asked her again.
What's your loan, man? What's the loan for, ma'am?
The loan was I loaned him $500 to pay off a truck.
When?
His truck. This was about March of 16.
When was he supposed to repay?
I asked him when could he pay me back. He said, well, I'll get it eventually when I start back working.
All right. He hasn't given you anything.
He gave me $300.
Okay, so he owes $200 on that. All right, sir, what do you say to the loan?
That is correct.
All right, good. And the pain and suffering is for the alleged assault.
Yes, sir.
And he says he doesn't know what happened within those 15 minutes.
And that is totally untrue, Your Honor.
That is exactly
You didn't tell the police,
totally
you wouldn't tell the doctor.
We went back home and we had a great night that night, Your Honor. And after that,
Did you all, ma'am?
Yes, we did.
Yes.
So I'm confused. If I did this,
I'm afraid of
if I
him.
did this, Your Honor, why are we back at her home?
$5,000 for the lost property, sir. How does she owe you that?
There was a time me and my fiance, we were together. She passed away. We had numerous items in the house we had collected over 5 years. Shay had told me previous times, get rid of all my stuff. You don't need it. I had this letter. It was sent out July the 29th. And I didn't find this until, well, it was in the back of her car. The only piece of mail that she had after she had told me to get rid of it constantly. This piece of paper was in the back of her car, in the trunk, and only reason why we found it because we were doing cleaning at her house. And when I found it, I opened it, and come to find out, it was 3 days expired. So she had this letter for over a month and a half in the back of her car.
You moved in May.
Right.
And that was sent when? When was it sent?
This was sent in July.
Sent
And these are...
July 29th. You hadn't changed your address?
I had my contact person, since I didn't have a permanent address, was her address.
She has no obligation to go out of her way to send you mail. And that's what people need to understand. You leave, you go straight to the post office. You say, forward my stuff to such and such, or you don't have a place to live. Post office box. That's what post office boxes are for, sir. For people who don't have a place to live, I will grant you, ma'am, your loan for $200. I'm not convinced about the assault, and your counterclaim is dismissed. You all have a good day.
Say to him ever again in life. I'm done.
I truly feel this was a waste of time.